This AskReddit user asks, what is an adult problem you were not prepared for? Back hurting just from sleeping wrong. And from sitting wrong and from doing housework and yard work and from picking up dogs or kids or whatever life requires. Never reach for anything in the back seat. Especially if it is just a little bit further. I sneezed in bed one morning waking up and messed my back up. I missed 3 days of work because of it. I don't like this. The endless teeny tiny implications of adult freedom. You have your own medical insurance plan now. You need to pick a primary care physician. Quote, okay, who should I pick? Up to you. But where should I start? How do I know which doctor to choose? Up to you. How do other people find one? They just pick the one they like. I don't know any of these doctors. Loneliness. Social isolation. A society with less and less human contact almost by the year. The constant obsessive feeling that I'm fast running out of time to have an enjoyable life even though I'm only in my 20s. I'm 40. That feeling is real and you should listen to it. Do it now. You might not get the chance later. My great-grandmother said that she and my great-grandfather promised they would always take a cruise around the world after they retired. It never happened because life got in the way. But they could have done it when they were younger. Don't ruin yourself financially. But if you can do that crazy thing you always wanted to do, go do it. Make it happen. Edit. Let me be clear. Don't run off and put yourself in a bad situation. But if you can stretch yourself and spend a year overseas or build that car or live in that place, do it. Don't put yourself in $100 of debt you can't afford to have a good time. That's the opposite of what everyone else says. So much advice about not making rash decisions in your 20s. Focusing on your career and settling down. There's a balance. But life is so long. I want to do that in my 30s. If you're never making rash decisions in your 20s, do it more. If you're always making rash decisions in your 20s, do it less. You have to buy insurance but can never use the insurance or else no one will sell you insurance. Crippling loneliness and romantic rejections. My heart is just dead. And now I feel empty inside. Listening to Hank Williams as a child prepared me for that. Yes. Something I never anticipated. It seems to be a hallmark of modern life. Bumble and Tinder made it worse. I guess at least now if you want to get drunk and be ignored by the opposite sex you can just buy a six-pack and never leave the couch. Trying to make friends. Being social as an adult is rough. Especially when your friends start moving away or having kids. Yeah, my social circle completely disbanded. We were a tight-knit few but then one moved overseas to be with the love of his life and the other two moved interstate in opposite directions, and being the introvert that I am, I don't find socializing with strangers an enjoyable experience or an easy way to make new friends. This hits hard and is 1000% relatable. I bet you also get the forever helpful "just put yourself out there" comments from the people who don't understand what it is like to be an introvert. How quickly your knees will age. Preparing for retirement. Of course everyone knows they will stop working at some point, but now that I'm 40, it feels like I really need to get it together. Am I going to continue bad habits that negatively impact my health, or will I finally make changes to be healthier later? My new favorite worry, will I really have enough money to retire and live comfortably enough to have a good of quality life? 10 years ago this all seemed so far away. Now, it feels like I'm speeding to the next phase of my life. How often you have to clean to maintain a clean house. Not only clean. Maintenance in general. I just found spot of mold in my garage and have to pull out what feels like half a wall. My husband just pointed out tonight that we have a DN vine growing through a window and is now attached to the living room ceiling. It's an old house, but what the HL? Yeah, definitely kill that thing at the root before it damages more wall. I have the same problem living in a crumbling old house. The problems never stop. Aging parents. Definitely this one. I still remember being a little kid around 5 or 6 watching The Land Before Time and crying over Littlefoot's mom dying. I cried to my mom saying I didn't want her to go anywhere, and she said don't worry because it's something that won't happen for a really long time. Cut ahead almost 30 years and that time is almost here. I still remember it so vividly, and losing my parents is probably the scariest thing in my life. Seems like time flew by and I'm worried with how quickly it's all moving. I love that show. But it didn't broadcast as much as I wanted to watch it for. Time does go by really fast for me now too. My parents are older than most parents with kids my age. So I have to experience everything sooner than many people in my age. So nobody to talk about such things. The people who understand me are people older than me by 10+ years. My mom had me at 36 when most people were still having kids in their early 20s. I feel you. Dusting. It never ends. Realizing that not even your parents have all the answers. And finally understanding that they were just figuring it out as they went, just like we are. Not having an all-knowing figure to give you the answers to all your problems is the pits, and I hate it. How expensive living is. I worked all through high school. But my only bill was the gas I put in my car. 30 hours a week on minimum wage goes a long way on shopping sprees and nail salons when you don't have any other expenses. I developed nasty spending habits. Not the value of a hard-earned dollar my parents were hoping for. I'm not in crippling debt or anything. But sometimes having to spend money on groceries or utilities depresses me more than it rationally should. Getting the spending under control has easily been one of the hardest things I've done after buying what I want with no problem for over 4 years. God, it's the worst. Yeah. When you're in high school, having a few $100s makes you feel loaded. You can buy whatever game you want and do whatever with friends, but as an adult hundreds of dollars is just enough to buy groceries and gas. Basically being alive. No joke. I never planned on living this long. Edit. I'm 24 now. 5 years past what I thought would be my end. I'm so sorry that so many of you feel the same way about yourselves. I hope you either find your peace or a reason to live. However small. Meanwhile, plan as if you're going to live till 70 so you're not stuck up the creek without a paddle. Stay safe. I love all of you. Having a gorgeous woman you are crazy about and very turned on by in bed. And having your PS not cooperate. No. It's not you. You're the best thing ever. I'm tired and my chronic pain is flaring up and I had 3 drinks instead of 2 and I'm in my 30s. Come on, lil soldier. Fight the good fight. No one telling you to stop procrastinating. Many Redditors mention the 5-minute rule to fight procrastination. Basically, if something takes 5 minutes or less to complete, just do it. It creates momentum and it might encourage you to complete tasks that require more time. Losing people. Loved ones passing away is the hardest. Then there's the nasty breakdown of personal relationships. Family relationships and friendships. Then there's the sad drifting apart that happens when life takes you on a different path to a person you were once really close to. Well, my dishwasher broke today. Medical issues and the costs associated with them. I went from a late 20s guy with no issues other than the occasional cavity to a late 30s guy with spondylolysis, OSA, anxiety, RLS, and hypertension in under 10 years. It's crazy that I am taking medications and trying to improve my health because my doctor said I could die in 20 years if I don't shape up. Seriously. I just want to drink beer, play guitar, hang out with the missus and maybe smoke some weed now and then, but these last years have hit me like a ton of bricks. And from what it understand it keeps getting worse. Ditto here. No serious health issues in my 20s. Just a yearly checkup. Got diagnosed with MS right at the end of 2019. Now in my 30s. And all of a sudden I'm going to doctors and hospitals, receiving expensive bills, and feeling like ST most of the time. The number one problem, for me at least, is that on top of having all those anxieties and unknowns of a new disease and medical care costs, if something goes wrong, an overcharged bill here or a paperwork error there, the onus lies on you to fix it. Doesn't matter how sick you feel or how tired you are. You have to wade through so many on-hold jingles and so much bullshit to get your problem fixed. Frankly, I don't understand how people do this for a lifetime and keep their head above water. I've heard people complain about medical issues and having to deal with health providers, insurance companies. But I really didn't understand until I had them myself. I'm supposed to get a treatment once a month to stop the advancement of my MS. I'm now 8 weeks out. A month behind. From my last infusion, still calling daily and waiting on calls back to get the next one scheduled. Feeling shittier and shittier each day. And weighing whether I should continue to risk my health or whether I should go into debt and just get the treatment. Anyway, it's a shame medical bills and responsibilities are adult problems when just aging. Disease is a problem enough in itself. Cliques and bullies are just as bad in the office as they were in school. As you got older, isn't it easier to call them out? I have no problem with throwing a bully's behavior in their face and watching them try to justify being ADD. Next time someone says something mean to you, just try it. It's amazing to see a 40-year-old man look completely lost when you ask him why he thinks only poor people eat flatbread and hummus. Like WTF Greg, it tastes good. It's not my fault your fat ass doesn't understand why everyone isn't drinking Mountain Dew and eating Snickers. FG bipedal elephant. Oh. Trust me. I do that. In my last job, the bully was my boss. And things kept escalating between us until she fabricated some incidents on my review to build a case for firing me for performance reasons. I found a new job almost immediately, before she could fire me, and made a detailed report to HR. She also harassed me for a medical condition I have. And basically the entire team went to HR on my behalf to validate my story. The company has done nothing and she is still terrorizing the team. The fact is, if bullying is built into the culture of a company, the bullies will always win. No matter how much you call them out. Dealing with your parents acting like children. Not being able to sleep due to stress. Yet here I lay, exhausted but wide awake. When I was younger I could sleep anytime. Anywhere. In my mind my mama should be about 40. She has always seemed to be so strong, but sometimes I want to fall apart when I see her take several attempts to stand up or make excuses about driving on the interstate. She will be 70 soon, but to me she is still young. I don't know what I'll ever do without her. I lost my mom 8 weeks ago. It's hard living without a parent. She was only 60. But I always thought of her as 42. She died before I had the chance to talk with her one last time. It was very unexpected. Give your mama a hug and tell her you'll drive her down the interstate to get her where she needs to go. I feel you. I lost my mom 5 years ago when I was 22. She was only 54. The last time I had a good cry about it was only a couple months ago. I'm imagining the pain of losing her will always pop up again here and there. But it happens less and less often and pain is less severe each time. Eventually, you will adjust to the new normal and you'll look back fondly on the memories you had with her. I hate that my children will never get to meet her. But I tell them stories about her and I'm hoping they'll get to know what a fantastic woman she was from that. You're welcome to message me if you ever want to talk about your mom. I'm happy to be a shoulder to cry on. How FG dark life actually is. Like, is this all we do? Just grind away at jobs we try to care about. But no one else cares about. Barely able to afford our bills, houses, debts. Constantly struggling with relationships and trauma and watching our political system fail us. Our country fail us. Our systems fail us. Like, this life is not what happy adolescent me dreamed it would be. Sorry to get real dark on y'all. I don't know how I'm ever gonna be able to accept this one because it's just so true. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.